Hello, this is your Rochester City Council update for February 17th, 2010. As you might expect, there is one issue and only one issue I tend to want to talk about at this meeting. And that's the oversight with the Rochester Convention and Visitors Bureau. Could have been worse. It could have been better. There were some things that were improved from the previous discussions. I'm still disappointed. I still voted against it because at the end of the day, for 3 years, we have given away our ability to set the budget for that organization, and we have also given away the ability to approve their budget. I think it was important for us to preserve one of those, and I think if we had given us some way to protect the oversight, I would have been supportive as well. The contract did go from 5 years down to 3 years. A number of additional points were brought up as well. I think that a number of the things that I wrote in the column, I think all of you will have a chance to see the video too, were not in any way, shape, or form refuted by the City Council. That's important. Nobody denies that their compensation went up 238% from 2001 to 2008. Nobody denies that that their funding growth is much higher than that of the city. Nobody. Also, nobody denied the note that was sent to one of our representatives was not correct, presented false information, and should not have been sent. These were all some key points that I hammered on. The reality is, we don't know how challenging our budget's going to be over the course of the next few years, but no matter what we cut, it can be the police department, it can be the fire department, it can be Parks and Rec. No matter how much we increase your taxes, one thing that will not change is the funding for the Rochester Convention and Visitors Bureau. I think that our priorities are wrong on that. They have an important job, but so does everything else, and we don't enter into these 3-year fixed contracts with anybody else, but we are with this particular group. It's better than the 10-year that they initially proposed, and I think there were some other changes that were made. But if anyone tries to give you a line that, oh, we still have oversight, just remember the only thing we can do is we can look at their budget, and revenue must be greater than expenses. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and they also have to, their budget has to reflect what their goals are. So we gave away a ton of oversight and a ton of budgetary responsibility, and the taxpayer didn't gain anything. And I think that's what's probably the most disappointing in this, is there was no gain here. One of the things that I brought up a couple of times, and it's going to continue to be what's been my frustration, is that just the dishonesty that's been behind some of this. Some of it perhaps indeliberate, but some of it deliberate. We knew that this note that was sent from Brad Jones, the legislator, was incorrect and it was inappropriate. So my response was, well, let's check out and see what our oversight is. And the question that I asked it twice, and the second time I made sure I got an answer, was after you found out that this happened, what process did you change to make sure that this would never happen again? And I'm not satisfied with the answer. I think the answer is truthful, and Denny Hansen said that he verbally told Brad Jones not to do that. I'm gonna take him at his word on that. But to me, it's not the board didn't do its job. It didn't actually change any processes, and that's where we have a complete failure in oversight. And the other thing I brought up too is that there's been some discussion of, well, why am I not interested in talking with them? Since I've been on the City Council, 2 people have come in and overtly lied to the City Council. I forget, there was a person speaking on behalf of Westfire who conveniently forgot to mention that he was not in fact an independent savior as he portrayed, but rather he was an individual that had been involved in problems with the same owner at a previous establishment. And then the second one is with this, when I asked about that letter that went out, Brad Jones flatly denied that the thing had ever happened. Those are the 2 times I've been lied to. So there's a trust issue here, and I'm not really interested in sitting down. once I've been lied to once, that's the trust is gone. And I think that's what's so disappointing in this all, is that a proactive, responsible, aggressive board, when this came to light, would have really shaken some things up, put some policies in place to make sure that never happened again. This board has a tremendous amount of talent on it, a lot of good people, a lot of people that I have a lot of respect for, and a lot of people that I believe want to do the best thing for Rochester. But they did not provide oversight in this case. They did not address the issue. So where are we then? Well, I first of all want to thank all of you for your support. I heard a lot of people talking about 50-50, so they obviously had a very different response than I got, because I've never had, I don't think I've ever gone through a month where I've had as many calls and emails as I got from you in this last month. So I want to thank you all for being proactive. I'm sure you contact your other council members too. I was contacted by a number of people. It was nowhere near 50-50. Maybe 10% of the contacts I had were in favor of allowing this proposed contract that was written entirely by the Convention and Visitors Bureau to go forward. Every single one of the people that contacted me were either intimately involved with a hotel or a board member. I did not have a single independent citizen contact me and tell me that this should be allowed to go on. So I appreciate you for that. Very, very passionate response. The final vote, of course, was 5-1. This was an item that was placed on the consent agenda when we have something this controversial. I've stated before, and I think that we should have a public hearing on anything that has this much interest in the public behind it. What the consent agenda does is it takes you, the citizen, it takes away your voice at our public meeting. And you know what? We can take the heat. We can. You can come in there and tell us what you think. But the reality is we didn't get to hear from you in this meeting because that's the way the meeting was set up. And that again is a disappointment. So I wish I could report to you things were better, but I think the biggest positive to take out of this is the fact that we're essentially going from potentially 5 years down to 3 years. I would have liked to have seen us maintain our budgetary control, but we gave that away. We absolutely, positively gave that away. So I hope that what I'm fearing for the budget for the next 3 years does not come to fruition, because I think a lot of the more drastic things can be avoided if we don't have a continuing budget crisis the way we have the last couple of years. But I think the very strong reality is that if you look at what the governor's proposing, if it even comes anywhere close to that, we're going to continue to see serious service cuts, serious sacrifices made by employees, and and continuing tax increases. So that's where this one particular issue stands. And as I said in this meeting and every correspondence I ever did, the Convention Visitors Bureau does a lot of wonderful things. They're a very important part of the city, but my accolades stop when we're giving them a sweetheart deal that we don't give anyone else in the city, and that's why I remain disappointed in it. But you spoke out. I appreciate the citizens who stepped up, and if you want to keep talking about it, I think you have some valid beefs with this, and thank you incredibly for all the support I've gotten. It's sometimes you feel like you're on an island when you're fighting some of this stuff and see things that are just clearly wrong. But it really makes a difference to know that some of you out there have had my back the entire time, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep watching, and if I can be of service, don't hesitate in contacting me.